Thank you, Don, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's certainly a great pleasure to be able to join you here today at Live Exchange in Perth. And in fact, I took a great interest in the live export industry very early in my time as Assistant Minister in this role. And one of the first trips I took was to go to the Northern Territory to look at supply chain issues and basically go from paddock to ship in the Northern Territory. In fact, my Chief of Staff, Jennifer Carl, who's with me today, her first day on the job, I said, come on, we're going to the Northern Territory. So she started first day heading up to gain a greater knowledge of your industry. But it's certainly an industry that is of great interest to me and an industry that has the full support of the Coalition Government. At last year's LiveX conference, I'd been in the portfolio only a few months, and I was suitably impressed with what I'd seen of our live export industry. But since that time, I've had a significant opportunity to expand on that. And I respect the industry very greatly, and that respect has grown over time. In my trips to the Northern Territory, I was able to gain insights into how the industry works across the whole supply chain in Australia. And then later in March, I went to Indonesia Australia Business Week and headed up the agribusiness stream on behalf of the government, and was able to further my experience in the industry. And in Indonesia, I met with alumni from the Red Meat and Cattle Partnership Skills Development Program and the Agribusiness Supply Chain Business Forum, as well as visiting a CPC partnered feedlot in Lampung. The visit to Lampung let me see the balance of the supply chain. After initially visiting a station in Katherine through to the docks of the Northern Territory, I was able to have a first-hand look at what was occurring in Indonesia. And certainly Australia can be proud of its live export industry and the work that it's doing to improve animal welfare outcomes, as well as those outcomes beyond our shores and beyond Australian animals. It's this kind of work that goes unreported. Not that this is an industry that expects much fanfare, but there should be a balance. And there should be due recognition for the demonstrated progress and real outcomes that you've achieved. You're making a genuine impact overseas. Australia, through SCAS, is the only one of more than 100 countries that exports live animals that requires World Organisation for Animal Health welfare standards to be met as a minimum for exported livestock. Since the introduction of SCAS, the Australian livestock industry has invested in training more than 10,800 people in overseas markets in better animal handling and slaughter practices. This has helped raise the knowledge and skills of workers overseas and led to safer, more humane animal handling techniques. People fail to recognise that our trading partners wouldn't give up sourcing live animals if Australia no longer conducted the trade. And we all know they'd get those animals somewhere else. This industry is an important contributor to global food security. It is my honour to be representing an industry that contributes $1.6 billion to our economy, with benefits extending well beyond the farm gate. Your industry delivers economic benefits and employment opportunities for up to 10,000 people, directly and indirectly. Close collaboration between industry participants, the Department of Agriculture and Water Resources as the regulator, and the government will be key to the success of the industry going forward. A sustainable and profitable export trade requires, firstly, the maintenance of animal health and welfare standards right across the supply chain. Secondly, agile business, and government has a role to play in this. Thirdly, opening new markets and maintaining those markets we already have. It is really a joint effort. Our job as government is to put the policies and the programs in place for our live export industry to continue to prosper. Our goal is to deliver practical policies based on common sense. We have put the Indonesian suspension behind us and got the live export trade up and running again. The challenge is now to put the industry on a firm footing for the long term and focus on better returns for the farm gate. The industry has worked together to maintain this trade within globally accepted animal welfare standards. SCAS has proven to be an effective model to underpin our trade. It is designed to consistently improve welfare outcomes while keeping the trade going. The onus is on exporters to manage the risk of an animal welfare incident up to the point of slaughter in important countries. Dr. Temple Grandin, a world-renowned animal behaviour expert, has previously stated at the 2015 LiveX that she had observed light years of improvement in cattle handling and animal welfare under SCAS. The OIE has said Australia is leading the world in animal welfare and that the industry's investments in improving the implementation of OIE welfare standards has its full and unequivocal support. I want to commend your industry for its work in live exports. The industry has shown agility and an ability to be proactive in management of areas that need improvement. Along with training overseas, it's had a range of successes in improving animal husbandry practices in our region. We have seen the use of stunning prior to slaughter now, the practice in 90% of cases in Indonesia. More than 1,000 facilities across 20 countries now have standards that meet OIE recommendations for animal welfare. The proactive work you have done in market to drastically reduce the number of sheep found outside supply chains during the high-risk period of Eid is very impressive. This has resulted in a significant decrease in the reported non-compliance during Eid. In 2015, around 11,800 sheep were observed outside approved supply chains. By 2017, there had been a dramatic improvement with around 330 sheep outside supply chain. These improvements have been delivered because you have a strong working relationship with your customers and you have invested in infrastructure and in training. During Eid, exporters and industry consultants rolled up their sleeves, put boots on the ground in local markets, and oversaw and managed sales systems, delivering results that you can be proud of. Despite all this good work, we need to continue to make sure the industry meets community expectations. Social licence to operate is essential, and I'm pleased that accountability and community are part of this year's theme. It's important that the industry continues to engage with the broader community, including your critics. No one is better placed than you to tell your story. I know there are strong views about livestock export trade in the community, and some who will never change their long-term views. But it's important to communicate your achievements and put the facts on the records. As I mentioned, the government has a role to play in freeing up business to do what they do best. There will always be a need for regulation, and it does come at a cost. It is an area that the industry and the department need to consistently examine. We want to minimise the compliance burdens on exporters while achieving the regulatory objective. We won't negotiate on animal welfare outcomes, but we don't want to be an undue impediment to Australia remaining a competitive supplier of high-quality livestock to our trading partners. So far, we've put in place reforms that streamline the process for SCAS approvals. We've moved to a risk-based approach to determine the frequency of audits for SCAS, reducing the cost of SCAS on compliant exporters and their supply chain partners, and slashed the cost of audits by almost $2 million. We've implemented approved arrangements from around the beginning of this year to reduce red tape around export approvals. This cuts the time that the department spends on consignments and therefore your bills by around 45%. The government is committed to further reforms to improve the live export industry. In June last year, the government announced an $8.3 million investment to assist in the implementation of the Livestock Export Global Assurance Program. And I note your unanimous resolution with regard to LGAP this week. There are areas where the government needs to be agile to ensure its policies are meeting objectives. The Australian Standards for Export of Livestock, or ACIL, is another important part of Australia's livestock export system, governing the transport of Australian livestock overseas, and we want to ensure that we get the science right behind any proposed updates. This review will ensure the current standards are fit for purpose and take into account the latest animal health and welfare scientific information and advice. It also provides an opportunity to reduce the administrative burden on livestock transport businesses by adopting the nationally agreed Australian animal welfare standards and guidelines for the transport of livestock in place of the current land transport standards set out in ASIL. The review will be conducted as a series of modules, with each module expected to take 6 to 8 months to complete. This means we can prioritise some areas of work, encourage industry innovation, and move more quickly to adopt technological improvements. The committee is expected to make their first report to the department by May 2018. There will be a number of opportunities for stakeholders to contribute to standards throughout the review process, and I encourage you to get involved and participate with the review. The third key to a sustainable and profitable industry, excuse me for one moment. The third key is market access. I'm proud of what the government has been able to do to achieve access across the agriculture portfolio. We have stood behind Australia's premium produce, opening up markets to ensure our industry is free to compete with the best the world has to offer. We are a nation built on trade and built on our exporting our goods. That is the future of Australian agriculture. Since January 2016, we've achieved over 55 key market access gains or restorations and over 50 key market access improvements or actions to maintain market access. We have opened new or improved market access for 13 livestock export markets. And we've also been working to strengthen our bilateral relationship with Indonesia. We have extended import permits from 4 months to 1 year. In addition, we are continuing to strengthen the mutually beneficial trade and investment relationship with Indonesia through the Australia-Indonesia Partnership on Food Security in the red meat and cattle sector. This important program aims to improve productivity, sustainability and competitiveness of the Australia-Indonesia red meat and cattle sectors. But market access relies on having the right infrastructure in place to get our live animals to market. Transportation costs are a large component of overall costs to farmers. The government is addressing our future infrastructure needs now by investing in major upgrades and construction which will assist agriculture. We have committed $50 billion for current and future infrastructure requirements, including $42 billion for the Infrastructure Investment Program to build the road and rail infrastructure for the 21st century. The government has committed $600 million over 4 years to 2020 to upgrade high-priority roads in Northern Australia. Through the Northern Australian Beef Roads Program, $100 million has been allocated to improve the resilience of cattle supply chains in the north. This will improve greatly by upgrading cattle roads and improving safety while reducing vehicle operating and maintenance costs and seasonal road closures. Of course, there are challenges when it comes to trade, not the least rising global competition for the international markets that we serve. The latest AB Agricultural Commodities Report found the value of Australian live feeder and slaughter cattle exports is forecast to remain largely unchanged at $1 billion for 2017-18. Exports are expected to increase by 4% to 850,000 head, with strong import demand from Indonesia and Vietnam. However, last year's record average price of $1,260 a head, export prices for Australian live cattle are expected to drop by around 6%. In 2017-18, live cattle exports are forecast to grow by 1% to around 1.9 million head, limited by continued flock rebuilding, particularly in Western Australia. And while our overseas competition will continue to rise, the opportunities for global food demand represents are unquestionable. Global food demand will require a 75% increase in global food production by 2050 compared to 2007 levels. The world will consume more in the next 50 years than we have in the whole of human history. These are global challenges with serious consequences, but as an exporting nation, Australia can play a major role in stepping up to the plate. The Australian government is behind our livestock export industry. We have the right systems, and together we are always looking to improve, both in maintaining standards, in gaining market access, and in removing red tape. The live export industry has come a long way in recent years, and there is much to be proud of, but we're at the stage now where we can build on this. This is an industry that fits perfectly the Coalition Government's vision for our agriculture industry. Our vision is of a profitable, productive, resilient and sustainable agriculture industry into the future, which all leads to a better return for our nation. The live export industry has shown its ability to overcome obstacles, to adapt and to return to profitability. It is an example of an industry that supports many of our rural and regional centres. While the future is bright, we must not be complacent. The sector must continue to adopt new technologies and systems, must be receptive to change, and must be an attractive employer if it is to achieve its full potential. I believe we're up to the challenge. Let us continue to work together to put this industry on a stable footing in years to come. And I certainly know that the former Deputy Prime Minister and former member for New England is an absolute supporter of your industry, and pending the outcome of the voters of New England in just a couple of weeks' time, would be looking forward to getting back and getting his shoulder to the wheel and working hard to assist you to progress your industry in the years ahead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.